But anyway, our special guest tonight, Joey. Joey, my husband's name is Joey.
They call me Joey, that's fine.
They call you Joey, Joe Cirillo.
Joe Cirillo, yeah, it's Cirillo.
Cirillo, because my grandmother used to be Cirilla, you see?
Same
so
thing.
It's a
Italian,
connection
the
there.
C is pronounced chi, right?
Yeah, Cirillo, not Cirillo, Cirillo.
Cirillo.
That's the right way to
That's
say
what
it.
I'm called, Joe Cirillo.
Actor, writer,
Producer,
songwriter, former police officer. You worked for the NYPD for how many years?
20 years.
A whole life,
Yes,
Joe.
a whole life in the police department.
In the police
And my
department.
son, and my nephews, and my nieces.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
a cop family.
A cop, yeah. Well, yeah, I like that. A family man, I can see that.
Yeah, we're really the Blue Bloods. You watch television, you watch Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck. I mean, our family was really the same, except I wasn't the commissioner.
Right. Talking about the commissioner. I want to talk about the commissioner a little later on. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
I'm glad to be
making
here.
the time to come. I spoke to George, and I said, oh man, I can't wait to meet him, because he said he has all these wonderful stories.
Yeah, he's a great guy. George is really a great guy. He's helping me a lot right now.
Yeah, you guys are working in 2 scripts right now, right?
He's helping me with a movie called Mega Balls. He's helping us raise the money, and he also likes one of my scripts, and he wants to go forward with that. It's called Talk About Justice.
Talk About
and
Justice.
And he wants to develop it, which he's already started breaking it apart. So that's a good sign.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It's very exciting. Let's go back. Wow, it's a lot, because you brought a whole, and I'm sorry, I'm just apologizing to my audience. I have all these pictures and articles. There's no way that we can show each one of them, because there's no time, but taking your pictures, that, you know, your headshot.
Yeah, they're headshots for every year, and you know, when you're an actor, you have to change your headshot every year, so that's almost every year you'll see me age.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to the beginning, Joe. Your first acting gig was?
In The Godfather, yes.
I can't believe it.
Well, I was fortunate enough. I was a cop at the time, and I worked in the area of 81st Street, Central Park. I was actually assigned to the Museum of Natural History. I was the liaison officer for the police department. And right there in the corner, all the big actors lived, Stephen Eady and Mike Nichols, Abe Burrows, Laura Nero, Red Buttons, they all lived there. And they knew me, and they called me Joe the Cop. And what happened when The Godfather came out, the people in Mike Nichols' office said, how would you like to work as an actor? I said, I'm not an actor. He says, we'll make you one.
Oh, wow.
And they called Paramount. They got me an interview.
God knows that it's not that easy, right?
I was very lucky. It was, it was really Mike Nichols. I mean, as soon as his name came up, I'm sure they must say, oh, Mike Nichols. And I went up to see this woman, and she asked me, what makes you think you can act?
That's a good question.
I said, I'm a police officer. We're doctors, we're lawyers. I said, we do everything. She says, you're right. And I got a small role.
Beautiful. We're going to be showing a picture. This is, I know that I don't want you, Gloria, to go that close, and I'm trying to get it straight, but this is a picture from The Godfather, right? We can't, I'm going to hold it like that, and I think you're doing a good job, Gloria, but yeah. That's pretty much it. Do not come to, let me see any closer. Now I'm blocking myself out of the picture. Experience.
That's me near the bride, right in back of the bride.
Yeah, this is exciting. And they're so glossy.
Yeah.
This is the real deal.
I actually got them from Paramount. Paramount sent them to me because my scene was taken out of the movie.
Right.
Which is the next photo.
The next picture.
Yes.
I think I already mixed them up, Joe. So don't.
Right behind that one. Right?
No, this is De Niro picture. This is a Robert De Niro picture.
Oh.
The one that I'm holding.
Oh,
Let's see. Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
You got so many. We have to go through all this.
It makes no difference.
It makes no difference, but we got it. So that was a great experience,
yes.
obviously.
Oh, it was an incredible experience. In fact, I remember going on this, when I got it, I said, if I die tomorrow, I don't care. I was so happy.
Right.
That's the feeling I had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't know if they knew back then what The Godfather will be.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, you know, when you have great cast, I know that Coppola wanted to have Pacino for the main character, and the studios, they didn't want him.
Right.
I know that for damn certain. They didn't want Pacino because
true.
He was not that, you know, huge as it is now.
No.
You know?
I know.
And I'm so glad that he fought.
I read the book, and I think I read it twice, and I loved it. And in the back of my head, I said, I'd love to play Neri, the police officer.
Yeah.
And here I end up working in the movie.
Incredible,
Yes,
incredible.
it was incredible.
I have
feeling.
another picture here with Robert De Niro. I know this
Yeah,
is so
that was actually the second one. That's Godfather II.
Yes.
And I'm in the back in the audience. What they hired me there because I couldn't be seen in this is a different era. This is back in the 1917 or whatever.
Right.
And I was in the 1947 era. So they wanted me to stay there because the extras in the background, they wanted to make sure that they didn't, do something wrong and obstruct the view or anything. So I had to just keep an eye on everyone.
I'm just listening to you because you got so much history, and I know that you know everybody. But what an amazing life.
Yeah.
I mean, you consider yourself a happy man, are you?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Right? Acting.
A great life.
Having
great
your
life.
family, right?
I have a good family, a great family.
The love for your craft and owning your own security company. How amazing is that?
Actually, yes, I did.
I like this picture. I know we can have a little.
All it is
It's a great picture.
Yeah, it was a modeling job. I did a lot of modeling also. That was one, and I liked that picture, so I kept it.
Cute.
And yes,
very cute. It's a great picture.
Thank you.
It's a great picture. Let me see. We have more, but you met a lot of people over the years, but let's not forget, please, I cannot forget about Telly Savalas.
Yes, yeah.
Please, let's bring it on because this is your time, Joe.
In 1976, the Kojak series was going to film in New York for the whole season. They normally shot in L.A. And now they were saying they needed someone as Telly security, and they spoke to the police department. So the head of the movie TV unit said, well, I know a cop who's an actor, and he'd be perfect. So they called me, and I got the assignment. So I was with Telly every single day on the set.
He was a nice guy, I heard.
The greatest guy in the world.
Extremely down to earth and funny, too. Had a little sense of humor.
I became his right-hand man. I eventually, when the series was canceled, I stayed with him. I stayed with the family. I took care of his mom. I drove his kids to school. But it was like I was his brother.
What was the greatest quality?
On Telly?
Yes, a human being. Not as an actor, as a human being.
I'll just give you a quick, for instance. I was working for him, and he said to take his son to Greece. He was working in Greece in a movie called Escape to Athens. Yeah, I think that's what, Athena. And so he called me up. I was in California. He says, go get Nicholas and take him out here. So I picked up his son, flew out to Greece, brought him there. Then he tried to get me a role in the movie, but they wouldn't give me a role because I had to be signed up before going to Greece.
Right.
But anyway, while I was there, I got sick. I wasn't feeling well, so I wanted to go home after a couple of weeks. So he said, all right, go ahead home. You stay home, and I'll call you when I get back. I think about 6 months went by and never heard from him. And one day he calls me, and I think it was in July, and 6 months later, he says, Joe, go pick up my mother and drive her out to California, like it was yesterday. And so I picked up his mother, and I drove her from Long Island out to California. It took me 7 days. And when I got there, he gave me all my back pay in one lump sum. 6 months back pay. So you can see how generous he was.
Right.
In fact, my wife, whenever she bought something, people come in our house and they look at a piece of furniture or a painting or something, and she called it a Telly. That's a Telly, meaning
that's a Telly.
Because of the money I made with Telly.
That's a good title for a film. That's a Telly.
Great guy. He's the greatest guy. Believe me, he was the greatest.
Incredible. But you see, this is, once again, let me take my time because
take your time.
Once you look at a picture, you just, like, you are into a journey and you allow yourself to go in, and the problem is that I have an audience.
Right, right.
There's no way I can get too distracted. There you go.
Oh, that's our present commissioner, and we're getting a new one.
We're getting a new one.
But actually, when I was in the police department back in the 60s, we were cops not together. I mean, I knew him. We worked in the same precinct. We saw each other. We'd say hello and so on. And this was later on. And we took pictures together.
What do you think of the new, I'm sorry that I cut you off, the new commissioner? What do you think?
Well, he did a good job the last time.
And he was commissioner in Boston, L.A.
Yes, and New York.
And he worked for Giuliani as well. So
yes,
he has a lot of experience.
Yes, yes.
You think he can bring the police officers and the community together?
I think he'll do a good job.
The challenges are very...
Oh, incredible.
Big,
That's the
and the
toughest job in
stakes
the
are
world.
very high.
I personally like Ray Kelly, but you know, if it's time for a change, we'll see what goes with this Bratton. I'm sure he'll try to improve it. Definitely, definitely.
Right. Okay, we have another picture right here,
Oh.
and this one is something. Yeah, dinner and gala evening, Saturday, March 1993. That's a nice picture. We have now Frank Sinatra. Let's talk about the man.
The man. Well, Frank Sinatra, when I had my security company, he was one of my clients. Every time he came to New York, we would set a desk outside of his suite at the Waldorf Astoria. And we'd do security 24 hours a day. Occasionally I did it, and other people. But the first time that I did it, I was in awe of him. And I remember, well, I just loved Sinatra. I loved the big band era. I'm from that time. And I always loved Sinatra. And I saw his movies. I never really met him in person. I went to his concerts. But when I got the security, and I was there on a midnight shift, I'll never forget this. And what happened was I was looking under the door. There was a spot like that and light. I could see him walking back and forth. I could hear him singing. And like all night long, and then he went to bed apparently. Then at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, the door opened, he came out to get the newspaper, and I was like, the Hallelujah chorus should have been playing. It felt like God came out. I was just in awe of him.
Right, right.
Yeah.
He had this amazing,
Yes.
out of this world personality, I heard.
Yes, he was very generous. I know a few incidents that happened that my son told me. My
This
brother actually was doing security once, and he called him in and he said, "Hey, kid, come on inside." He took him in the back and he had to cook some lentil soup.
I love lentil soup.
And they sat in the back in the kitchen in the Waldorf Astoria, my brother and Frank, Mr. Sinatra, and they had lentil soup together that Frank cooked.
Incredible. But he was a tough guy, too. I read his biography, one of his biographies.
Oh, yes, yes.
And let me tell you something. There's a lot of stuff there that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I can't say it because I didn't see anything.
Right.
So I would never say. But as all the times that I met with him and so on were great. I'll give you one more. We were in Las Vegas. This time I was working with Telly. I was Telly's right-hand man. And we were in Caesar's Palace, and Sinatra and Telly were playing Baccarat. And I was there with Vince Conti, who was in the Kojak series. And Vince Conti spoke to him, and then he got a little annoyed, and then he said, another card, whatever. And again, Vince Conti spoke to him. Then he yelled, "Get the hell out of here, you just cost me $20,000. So he was playing like $10,000 a card. But, you know, I imagine could be a real tough guy.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
There's no doubt about that one. This is a beautiful picture. I love this movie, Falling in Love.
Yes, that's De
Isn't
Niro
she
and
the
Meryl Streep.
queen?
And I was with Meryl Streep. I was hired as a security. I was on the set with her every day.
She's a down-to-earth, grounded, amazing human being.
Amazing. She is the nicest woman in Hollywood. And the only other person can compare is Sophia Loren. I was with Sophia Loren twice for different movies.
Isn't she gorgeous?
Oh, they're both gorgeous. But
Yes,
Sophia Loren,
she's my queen.
I
I
mean,
have a lot of queens because I love so many actors, Joe.
I know.
And I know the big stars, and forget about the stars. Like, I don't know, acting is such a beautiful craft, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
And it takes a lot of time, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a Hollywood star to be a great actor.
No.
Do we agree with that?
I agree, definitely.
Right, there's a lot of people out there on TV.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And you can ask my dear friend, mentor, actor, brilliant actor, Elizabeth Kemp. She can tell you all about it.
Yes, I know.
Okay, she can tell you all about it. I'm trying to check for the picture of Barbara Streisand because I know that you work for her as well.
Yes, there's one in there. If you keep going back, you'll see them.
She's a tough cookie.
Whoa.
But she gets it done.
Barbara Streisand, I was with her on the film Nuts for 5 days.
Richard Dreyfuss.
We were shooting in New York. Yes, Richard Dreyfuss was in it. And we were shooting in New York. And one